that. And, what do you make of what Mitch McConnell is arguing, that there is a difference between doing so in a presidential election year versus what is really a midterm election?
Well, look, Senator Schumer is trying to attack McConnell now for not extending a position that Schumer said was unjustified in the first place. It makes no sense at all. Senator McConnell's argument was not only limited to presidential election years, but also was clearly in the context of opposite party control of the Senate and White House. It was a political argument. And the fact that Senator Schumer is making this silly argument now simply shows that Democrats have no ammunition against the nomination that President Trump will make. This is a nomination that, if all goes smoothly as it should, will be confirmed, not just before the elections, but in mid-September or so, before the court begins its new term in October.
Do you worry that it'll have to be done without a single Democratic vote, or it could be that way, and that it's no guarantee every single one of the 50 Republican senators eligible to vote? It's doubtful that John McCain would. That's no guarantee either.
Well, look, Democrats triggered the abolition of the filibuster by their amazing decision to filibuster the Gorsuch nomination a year ago. They're largely going to vote in lockstep. My guess is there are a small handful of Democratic votes that can be won over. But no, the constitutional margin that we need is a simple majority. If need be, 50 plus the tie-breaking vote of the vice president. And I think that is eminently gettable.
Yeah, and I think, as you point out, if we get into the, he said, she said, or what party is to blame, we can go back to Harry Reid and doing a simple majority get judges approved. So there's a lot of blame, or I guess fixing of the system to go around here. But is it your sense that no matter who the president chooses, though, that the issue that will dominate, or two issues that will dominate, will be abortion and Roe v. Wade, and then gay rights, and whether that it should be revisiting gay marriage and all of the stuff that obviously Justice Kennedy was very instrumental in cementing. He cemented a key portion of Roe v. Wade soon after Ronald Reagan chose him to the High Court, and he did so again when it came to multiple rulings on gay marriage.
Well, look, I think that fair-minded Americans will recognize that the confirmation process ought to focus on the merits of the nominee. And I think we're going to get someone very much like Neil Gorsuch, who has a strong record as a constitutionalist, who will earn a claim from fair-minded folks, and I think will be confirmed on that basis. Of course, these and other issues will be part of the process, but I don't think that they will dominate by any means.
Do you get a sense that the president, it's always hard to read what's in the president's mind, but I was looking at this list of 25 individuals and so many are so young, a majority in their 50s, some in their 40s. So this notion that this could be a generational type pick who would be around for decades to come, and that will be crucial and maybe important to the president. What do you think?
Well, I think so. Have in mind that Elena Kagan was 50 when President Obama nominated her. So true. I don't think anyone views 50 as young by Supreme Court standards.
Wait a minute. Just be careful about it. Watch this age reference. Go ahead.
But look, I think the president is very focused on the Supreme Court legacy, and that all other things being equal, a younger age is better than an older age. But look, there are plenty of extraordinary candidates on this list, and I think we'll end up with one of those as the nominee.
But you don't see any trouble getting all the Republicans on board, or I guess you alluded to the fact that it's possible some Democrats could vote, but I'm thinking of Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski or even Bob Corker or Jeff Flake, who might, put up some resistance.
Well, certainly don't want to take anyone for granted, right. But I think that there are plenty of nominees whom all Republican senators will recognize as very suitable for confirmation, just as they did with Neil Gorsuch. All
right. Thank you very, very much. Good seeing you, Ed Whalen, the former law clerk to Justice Antonin Scalia.